new to the channel, welcome. My name is Emmy. I am a certified nutritionist and the creator of the Eat As Much As You Want plant-based lifestyle program, where I coach you one-on-one on how to lose weight on a plant-based diet. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about why the heck can I not stop eating? I'm overeating on healthy, low-calorie foods. What is going on here? So if you saw my last What I Eat in a Day video, I touched on this a little bit because I had some people asking me and writing in the comments, Emmy, what is going on here? I'm eating potatoes, rice, broccoli, oatmeal, apples, grapes, all the stuff that you say to eat in order to lose weight on this diet, and I am just stuffing myself to the brim. I never feel full, I never feel satisfied, I just can't stop eating. What is going on here? And so I touched on it a little bit in my last video, and I said, if you want me to make a more in-depth video about this, I'll go ahead and do that. And the response was pretty overwhelming. So I decided to make a video about this and talk about all the other factors that could be going into this situation. And also at the end of the video, I will give you a resource that you can use if you are personally struggling with this and you're finding that it is having a negative effect on your life and you feel as though you need to reach out for help. I'm going to give you a resource that you can surely reach out to. Very, very affordable, highly recommended, and you can go ahead and reach out to that person so that you can get the help that you're looking for. And if you are one of those people, I commend you for deciding that you want to get some help in order to improve the quality of your life. You go, honey. Also, yes, we have our sign up, so that is very exciting, the Healthy Hunnies. The sign is here, honeys. It's here, new and improved. All right, so first let's make sure that we make a distinction between health foods and healthy foods that are low calorie. So if you find that you are overeating on things like nuts, nut butters, dates, dried fruit, the reason for that is that these foods are extremely calorically dense. The more calories per pound a food has, the more calories a food has, the more dopamine is released from our brains, because the more calories something has, the more likely we are to survive. We're modern creatures, but we're living with a 100,000-year-old brain. Our brain has not changed in the past 100,000 years, and it wants to keep us alive. It wants to store fat. So when something has a lot of calories in it, it sends the signal to our primal brain, hey, there's a lot of calories in this. You're gonna be able to pack on some fat. This is good news. We want you to keep eating this stuff so that you will survive just in case there's a famine. So when we eat things like nuts, nut butters, seeds, seed butters, dates, dried fruits that have a lot of calories in them, our brain says, this is awesome, this is gonna help you survive. Eat, 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 eat. The more calories something has, the more dopamine is released. Dopamine is the feel-good chemical, and it's the motivation chemical. It motivates you to do something. So that's why you just can't stop eating those foods. But that's not really what I'm gonna be talking about in this video. I'm not gonna be talking about overeating on junk foods, nuts and nut butters, all of that. I can talk about that in a separate video. If you want that video, let me know. What I'm talking about in this video is I'm overeating on things like broccoli and potatoes and Brussels sprouts and zucchini. I just can't stop eating this stuff. What is going on here? Okay, that is what we're talking about in this video. So the first thing that I will say is that I have never come across this issue with somebody who is overweight. And if they are overweight and they find that they're eating, stuffing it in on this stuff, they're likely losing weight in that process. So I think the first step here is to go in and look at what the healthy BMI is for your height. BMI is body mass index, and it tells us what a healthy weight is based on what your height is. I've actually linked below a resource that you can use. You can go in, see what your height is, and then see where your weight should fall. And you're probably gonna find, oh my goodness, I'm in the healthy weight range. Sometimes we just need to Google Earth ourselves. Take a step back and say, my weight is just fine, because likely if you are overeating on these foods, or if you are watching my channel, you know, I help people lose weight on a vegan diet. That's what my program does. So if you are watching this channel, you probably are looking to lose weight in some sort of way. And if that is what you're trying to do, and then you realize, oh my goodness, I'm in a healthy weight range, like what am I thinking? You will have a really different perspective on this whole thing, and your grip on your hunger won't be so tight, and you'll realize, wow, I really can loosen up a bit, and I don't have to be so neurotic about all of this. It's very, very unlikely that you are gaining weight to the point of being overweight from packing it in on these foods. And so if that is the case, if you are in that healthy weight range, go ahead and reevaluate your diet so that it can better reflect you eating to satiety and not eating to the point of being sick on low-calorie foods. Because if you are in a healthy weight range, you don't need to do that. You don't need to eat yourself sick on low-calorie foods because you're in a healthy weight range. So keep watching this video and we'll talk more about some of the things that you can do. So one reason why you might be overeating on these foods is because the foods are too calorically dilute. There's not enough calories in them. So as we talked about, when food has a ton of calories, when food has too many calories, we overeat on it because our brain says there's a ton of calories in here. In case there's a famine, this is going to be great for you. Well, there's the other side to the coin too. When food does not have a lot of calories in it, something like broccoli, which is less than 200 calories per pound, your brain says, uh-oh, not a lot of calories in here. We need you to survive, so we're gonna crank up those hunger signals and you are going to eat until you feel sick on this food because there's not a lot of calories in there and that's the only thing you're eating, so you're gonna have to eat a ton of this. So there is the other side to the coin too. If all the foods that you're eating, if you're only eating really calorically dilute foods, then you're not gonna get enough calories in. And your brain knows that, and so it says, you gotta keep eating, keep eating, keep eating. This is why starch is so important on this diet, because starch actually gives us enough calories. This is why my clients are on a starch-based diet. So the majority of their calories are coming from potatoes, rice, oats, and beans, because these actually give us a substantial amount of calories, whereas things like fruits and vegetables, which are so low calorie, don't have enough in them to sustain us for life. And that's why you're eating yourself sick on them, because if that's the only thing you're eating, then your brain says, uh-oh, not enough calories in here, you gotta eat till the cows come home. Another reason why you might be overeating on these foods is because you're not eating when you're hungry. And if you don't eat when you're hungry, you're not going to stop when you're full. We have to honor our hunger signals. And I find that a lot of people come into practices such as intermittent fasting, and they're doing it out of a place to attempt to lose weight, but not because they find that it actually isn't within their natural groove. And so they'll deny themselves hunger and then totally go all out on the fruits and the veggies, the potatoes, all of that, and just go bananas because they were denying themselves of listening to their hunger signals when they were hungry. So of course the brain's gonna deny listening to fullness signals when fullness signals come, because if you're not getting food with when you're hungry, your brain says there's a famine. So if there is food available right now, well, we got to eat up on this because it's likely that there's going to be another famine because we've gone through a period of famine just this morning. So if you don't listen to your hunger signals, how can you expect to listen to your fullness signals? Eat when you're hungry. Then you'll be able to stop when you've had enough. Another reason is the illusion of the fullness light bulb. There's this idea that once we get full, the light bulb goes on. Ding, I'm full, I'm good to go now. But that's actually not how fullness works. It's not a light bulb that just turns on. Something that I tell my clients to consider is to think of fullness like a Christmas party, okay? You have this nice big venue. Is there a perfect amount of people to attend the Christmas party? Are you gonna notice if a few extra people come or if a few people leave? No, there's a good amount of people, but if there's a few extra people, a few extra bites, or a few fewer people, a few fewer bites, you're not really gonna notice. It's the same thing with hunger and fullness. If nobody's at the Christmas party, that's wicked awkward, and that's when you feel extreme hunger. And if there are way too many people at the Christmas party and you are packed like sardines, that is extreme fullness, and that is Thanksgiving full. That is when the tank is all the way full. We want you to be somewhere that is comfortable within the Christmas party. Another thing that you can think about is to not eat until you feel full and stuffed. Don't search for feeling stuffed. Search for feeling energized. Once you're eating to the point you're like, wow, I have great energy right now, that was the point of eating the food. So you've completed the goal, which is nourishment. So make that mind shift so that you can get away from trying to check off the box of feeling full and try to get the feeling of feeling energized instead. let's jump into another reason why this might be happening, which is that food is your primary relationship and there's not enough going on in other parts of your life, so you're looking for food to fill that void. If we eat for emotional reasons, we will never be full or satisfied. It's like you have two cups, okay? And one is your emotional, social, your life, and the other one is food, which is just nourishment. It's just to keep us going. And yes, there is a time and a place when you should be eating food for enjoyment, like Christmas, but there's a time and a place for that. Everyday situations, we want our food to be here for nourishment. So a lot of times, there's not much going on in this cup, in the social aspect, relationships, work life, whatever it is. So what happens is that people will try to pour into this cup in order to fill up this cup. And they'll just keep pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring to try to fill up this cup. And this cup doesn't get full, but this cup just keeps getting poured into. So if we eat for emotional reasons, we will never feel full and satisfied. And what we have to do is keep food where it's supposed to be, which is to give us nourishment, and then reserve this cup and fill up this cup with what it's supposed to be filled with, which is relationships, romantic relationships, friendships, having a healthy work life, exercise, mindfulness, all of these things that make up our life, and then just keeping food to be what it should be, which is to eat to nourish us. Another reason why is that the grip is too tight. So I find with some people, especially if you are in the healthy weight range, you can loosen up a bit. The idea of being on this whole foods plant-based diet, starches, vegetables, fruits, and legumes, it's just a foundation, honeys. It is just a foundation. Embrace all of the foods that are available to us and embrace things that you perhaps were not having in your diet in an attempt to maintain a healthy weight. Whatever that food is for you, it's different for everybody, but once you allow yourself to have those foods and to realize that the foundation of starches, vegetables, fruits, and legumes is that, a foundation, it's just a foundation, and you can incorporate some other things, you'll be amazed by how satisfied you might be by these foods. So if it's incorporating something like nut butter or bread, crackers, smoothies, I don't know because I'm not you. Whatever that food is for you, once you realize I have this foundation down, I know this thing. If you're this far in the video, that means that you probably watch a lot of videos of mine, and I know that you know this stuff. You know starches, vegetables, fruits, and legumes. You're a smart person. You know what the foundation is. You know what to eat. It's just that we have to sort of change the outlook of how to eat and approach it so that starches, vegetables, fruits, and legumes, that's the foundation. But if you find that just sticking to those foods is having a negative impact on your life, then it'll surely have a positive impact on your life to loosen the grip a little bit and to incorporate some of those other foods that you've been avoiding. A lot of times people will go all in on broccoli in an attempt to avoid a tablespoon of nut butter. And when they find that they allow themselves to incorporate a tablespoon of nut butter, wow, I'm actually satisfied by that. I thought I was going to totally overeat on that. But that's not what happens. When you loosen the grip and you just embrace this diet as a foundation and you're at a healthy weight, you can incorporate those other things and really realize that you've become so accustomed to the caloric densities of these foods that when you have a little bit of that nut butter, your brain will know that there are a lot of calories in there and you'll be satisfied by it. So incorporating some other stuffs, whatever whatever that is for you, allowing yourself to have a little bit of it, you might be amazed by your ability to detect the caloric density and in turn the satiation and satisfaction that you get from it. So if you're one of these people, you're sitting at a healthy weight and you're overeating on calorically dilute foods in an attempt to avoid eating other foods, allow yourself to have some of those other foods, enjoy every bite, savor every bite, and realize, oh my goodness, I'm satiated by this. I feel good. I feel like I've had enough and I don't want to eat 1,000 pounds more of it. And I'm able to maintain my healthy weight. Allow yourself to incorporate these foods and hey, run an experiment. Just run an experiment on yourself and see what happens when you start to incorporate these foods back in. the last reason, which sort of sums up all the reasons that we've talked about, is that the grip on hunger, on diet, on everything is so tight, and it's the primary focus of one's life. When the primary focus of your life should be your relationships, your job, your passions, whatever it is. When I get up every day, I think about this. Filming YouTube videos, making things for my program, my clients. That is my world. That is what lights me up. And that's why I tend to eat the same foods day in and day out, because I just can't be bothered with that stuff because I have other things that I want to think about. And so food is not the main show of my life. It's not the main show of what my brain focuses energy on. My brain focuses energy on life, and I'm able to focus my energy on life because I don't have such a grip, tight grip on my hunger and obsessing over this stuff. However, if you find that it's all you think about, it is all consuming, it's everything to you, we need to shift the focus of your life so that it focuses on the other stuff, and you're using food just to get that sense of energy, not that sense of extreme fullness, and it's not your primary relationship. Food is not your primary relationship. If that sounds like you, and you're in a healthy weight range, and it's having a negative impact on your life, loosen the grip, embrace this diet as a foundation, allow yourself to incorporate some other foods, whatever that is to you. It's different for everybody. Absolutely everybody, it's gonna be different. And the last thing that I would tell you to do is to use this resource. Go to Dr. Doug Lisle's website, just Google, you know what, I'll link it in the down bar. Esteem Dynamics, Dr. Doug Lisle. He is a brilliant psychologist who offers remote counseling. So you can speak with him on the phone, and his prices are extremely affordable. He is a brilliant man, and you can do a 30-minute session with him, a 1-hour session with him, and he will be able to help you with this issue if you do find that you are experiencing this. If you are underweight, I urge you to go to your physician and work with a professional in that sense to ensure that you are healthy physically as well, because physical and emotional mental health, they're all extremely important. So I hope this video helps. I absolutely adore you guys, and I'll see you in my next video.